Before I forget, because this cost us a game last week, I need to put my shirt on.
I don't think that cost us a game.
No, it did, because we were on a hot streak, and then I forgot to put it on right at the beginning, so I'm going to put it on right at the beginning. Everything was a little bit off.
Oh,
we'll do our recap momentarily. So go ahead, carry the audience for 30 seconds.
Carry the audience. The audience can go and take a nap right now while I get my stuff find it out over here. Like, where is all my data? Oh, there's my picks. There's my other picks. And it's far too early in the morning to do anything that's not focused on just the picks. What is he doing? Oh, it makes all the difference. The Westgate SuperContest. Yep. We're good. All right. Well done, handsome. Now we can get rocking and rolling. Put the beanie on. Yep. Headphones.
And I'm back. Let's go.
That's just amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Right.
What were you talking about? What did I miss?
Nothing really.
Okay.
Thursday. Oh, they're unavailable. That's right, because it is Thursday.
Oh shit. Yeah. But we've got to make all of our picks for the community pool.
Yeah. Shall we do that?
No, let's do our recording. I think this might be an express version.
Yeah, it is, because we pretty much know what we're doing.
Yeah, because we already had a preliminary in-person chat earlier this week.
You did send me something that did cause my brain to think a little bit more about one of them.
That supported what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you mean maybe you wanted to put something on that we're not going to put on?
That we weren't. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, first start off Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm thankful that we committed to doing this. It's been a lot of fun. I hope we continue to do it in the future. So thank you for all that, your friendship, entertainment, etc. Just want to get that out of the way.
Likewise. I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah.
All right.
Great, grateful and appreciative today. Let's rock and roll.
All right. Quickie here. 3-2. My global takeaway on this is I feel like we're not doing very well, but we keep having winning weeks, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We stack winning weeks. Oh, and by the way, I looked at your RYP season.
Yeah.
You have 9 winning weeks and then 2 offers.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Freaking crazy. You cut out those offers. I mean,
I know. I'll be up there.
Pretty good. And then we're 31, 23, and 1.
Yep.
Westgate.
What are you in circa?
Exactly the same. 31,
excellent.
23, and 1 with different picks, with mostly different picks.
Yeah.
So I ran the percentage. We're about a 57% winning percentage, and that's right on the cusp of you can probably make a little money doing this.
Yeah.
If you're at 57 or higher. So we're right there, and something we might want to consider in the future. Make a little side scratch.
Certainly already considering that.
Yeah. Lions didn't cover. Loved that pick. 4 turnovers. Didn't have the ball for 20 minutes in the game. Still managed to win. Chicago played a little bit better than I thought. Justin Fields controlled the game. Whatevs. That was a loss. Miami didn't play very well coming out of the bye. Don't know if the Raiders actually have something with the new coach. A little effort bump. Not sure. Expected a much different result there.
Yeah.
Dallas was a blowout. We were on that. The Niners almost gave up a backdoor cover.
Yes.
We were worried about, and you called the game of the week. Take Buffalo. Don't even think about it. Blowout city.
Yeah.
And so that was that.
It was a good one.
Cool. This week. My suggestion is we should just go through today's games and the game tomorrow. Just very quick, who we would take.
Yep.
And with no analysis.
Yeah.
You would go Detroit. Green Bay. Detroit. So
I'll take Detroit. Yeah.
Dallas or Washington?
I'd take Dallas.
Me too. Niners, Seahawks.
At 7.5, I take Seahawks.
Same with me. Dolphins, Jets.
Jets.
Yeah. So we're on the same page with all 4 of those. I think we were on the same page when we talked earlier. The line movement on these has been interesting. So if you look at the live odds, the line's gone towards the Lions, towards the Cowboys. It's sitting at 7 right now. And I would still take Seattle plus 7 and then 9 with the Jets.
Yeah. I actually think the Seattle and the Jets are pretty solid bets. if they were on a Sunday rather than a Thursday, I would be
Right.
tempted. I'm quite tempted with Jets anyhow in the pool.
You don't have to disclose this, but are you going to any Thursday games on RYP?
Yeah, I am doing one of them.
Every single one of them has closing line value.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you could take the first 4 games of the week and have CLV, a good amount of CLV on all of them.
Yep, totally agree.
All right. So our business starts here at 9:10, Jacksonville, Houston. What do you think?
Yeah, Jacksonville, Houston. I think it's an interesting one. It's a big game, as we know, for both these teams. Houston's record is pretty solid. It's interesting that Jacksonville are favored a little bit. There are some people that think Houston should be favored a little bit. I think if the points were switched around, I would be dumping on the Jags. But I still have a sneaky feeling that Trevor Lawrence needs to get his game together. I think we might have touched on this the other day. This could be a get-right game. This could be a good win. This could be a good win for the Jags.
Yeah, and you don't like Trevor Lawrence really at all. I'm not like gung-ho on Trevor Lawrence, but I don't think I'm like anti-Trevor Lawrence. For me, it's a revenge spot. I went back this morning and I looked at the box score and the stats from their first game when Houston blew them out. First of all, Jacksonville wasn't playing very well early in the season, so you got to kind of take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. They had a missed field goal it was 17-0 Houston at halftime. Jacksonville had a missed field goal in the first half. They had a blocked field goal in the first half. They had some other weird play that happened. Houston had a 68-yard touchdown pass plus a 90-yard kickoff return. It seemed like everything went right for Houston.
Yeah.
In the second half of that game, Jacksonville came out, touchdown, stop, field goal, stop, touchdown. So I feel like the momentum had already shifted towards Jacksonville when they played way back. Jacksonville's played better since then. Houston's been pretty good. For me, I think this is a get back in your place, which is not atop the division smackdown. The other incentive here is with Kansas City losing, these teams that have 3 losses can sniff the number 1 seed. Do we think Houston is a number 1 seed contender?
Well, I was thinking the other day, just our preseason pick on this game would have been hands down, no questions, Jaguars win.
Yeah, and that's, you know what, that brings up a good point. What was this line preseason? Jacksonville at Houston -4.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might even take -4.5 this weekend if it was at 4.5. So I think this is a good spot for Jacksonville. They've got high motivation plus revenge. I don't think Houston's ready for the big stage. The other thing I think is when you play these repetitive games, you want to have a bigger bag of tricks. I trust Doug Peterson with more experience, more big game experience, to come up with some new wrinkles that Houston hasn't seen before. Whereas the offensive coordinator for Houston, I don't even know who it is, probably doesn't have the depth of repertoire that they can go to.
Yeah.
So I like Jacksonville.
I do too. And I think coaching matters today. I think he's ready.
Yeah. All right. 11-12 Colts Bucks.
Well, I've been veering a bit closer to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here, 2.5 points. As usual, I'd like a few more points than that, but they played pretty well against San Francisco. Not awful, and they probably could have got a little closer than they did. I think that they're on a bit of a roll. I think their defense isn't terrible. They've been pretty solid all year as a defense. I think Buster Merrifield is getting a bit more comfortable as an Only Fools and Horses connection.
Buster,
you won't get that.
Merrifield?
Yeah, you won't get that one. He's a late actor. All right.
So he only works like at night or what?
He's passed. He's an old guy. He's passed away now. Buster Merrifield.
He passed. Oh, okay.
Famous old actor in a great sitcom on TV, Only Fools and Horses. But anyway, Buster Merrifield's getting more comfortable in
they're playing the Colts. That's a horse.
In his offense, yeah. So I think this could be an interesting little spot for them against the Colts. I think the Colts could arguably be slightly better team, but there seems to be some dysfunction going on there at the Colts right now. So I don't know. I like the Bucks.
I started to lean Tampa Bay more this morning. So I went back. I always go back and I look through the games that I wasn't paying much attention to. So I went back, did the thorough analysis. My thing is, as you know, the last 2 times the Colts played, I said their offense is pretty good because they're scoring 20 points a game every time. And it turned out to be wrong. Like they were not very good in those 2 games. Still got lucky that they covered because the teams that they were playing are inept offensively. I went and put Tampa Bay in the inept category. So I'm wrestling with their offense probably isn't as good as I thought. However, at home, they have scored over 20 points every game. I looked at it. Tampa Bay's got some insane split on the line movement. They're 5-0 ATS on the road. They're 4-0 ATS when the public fades them, which means they're just the public's wrong on Tampa Bay in those moments.
Yeah.
And that's what we have here. So I start leaning more Tampa Bay. I will probably, they fall into the category of a team that I want to pick this week. So they will probably appear somewhere in one of my pools.
Yeah.
Not Circa though. It's a little too risky to put in Circa for me.
Yeah.
Cool. 13-14, Patriots, Giants.
Shit show versus shit show. Leave it alone.
That's it. That's all you got.
That's it.
Cool. So when I was looking at this game, I forgot to write it down on my paper, so I forgot the game even existed. I've done no research on this. My instinct says the Patriots are coming off a bye. I expect them to play a little bit better than normal. The Giants were +5 in turnovers going into the last drive against Washington last week. They're only ahead by 2. I think the Patriots win. I would not take them as a favorite in any situation, but I think they win, and my guess is they'll cover.
Yeah, I just don't want to touch it.
Yep, 15-16, Titans, Panthers.
Yeah, I love the Titans in this spot. Another get-right game. They've got a couple of games that they could win. You mentioned that the other day when we were chatting. It puts them in a spot where they can maybe try to grab something from their season. Maybe. It seems like everybody's healthy there. They're playing against arguably one of the bottom 5 teams in NFL, if not definitely in the bottom 5. If they can't beat Carolina Panthers today at home with the team and the coaching that they have, I need to rip up my bet right now.
Yeah, I love Tennessee's probably one of my top 3 picks this week.
I think it's
a pro Tennessee pick plus an anti Carolina pick.
Yeah.
Tennessee plays better at home. They score more points at home. Their defense is solid. Carolina, I just don't think it's very good.
I don't think they'll score.
Yeah, this Frank Reich business is. Yeah, I mentioned this maybe a month ago. You were talking about the revenge spot against so-and-so, against the Colts. It must have been against Is he that good of a coach? He had success as he was the quarterbacks coach or offensive coordinator for the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl.
Something like
and Doug Peterson was running the offense anyway.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know about Frank Reich. It's why I didn't take any of the futures on Carolina. Because they were supposed to be pretty good.
Well, Carolina,
like decent at least.
You and I have talked about Carolina and Atlanta, and we decided we couldn't figure out either of those teams.
No.
Same thing with Cleveland.
I think Tennessee is big spot, home against an inferior team.
Yeah.
I think this one is probably like in the 27-13 range, something like that. I like Tennessee. And Tennessee might be one of my picks across the board.
I think it's a solid pick. Tennessee's a good pick. I
need to be writing these down.
It's a tough pick. I've got written down so far Jags -1.5, Tennessee -3.5 of ones that we're aligning on. That's for sure.
Okay. All right. There might be more, so we might have to.
Yeah.
Because from our conversation the other day, we were way more in alignment than normal.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. What do you like?
It's a kind of a niffy game for me, this one. Pittsburgh have not been firing on all cylinders, as we know. They're very lucky in the results that they get. They're outplayed just about every time they get a win. They're up against the Cincinnati Bengals that were starting to get back on a roll with Burrow. Burrow's gone down. They've got Brown Sauce coming in. I'm just kind of questioning whether or not the Bengals are still able to play well with Browning. And if they are, I think they're in the right spot to get a result at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't like this game. To me, this has the duh candidate, which is Pittsburgh usually plays Cincinnati pretty tough with Burrow. without Burrow, they should handle their business. The problem is their offense is so bad. They fired their offensive coordinator, so I usually think there's an addition by subtraction when that happens. So a bump offensively for an offense that's pretty bad.
And the line didn't move at all after the announcement that he was gone.
I don't feel comfortable about either side in this one.
I'm
so
off.
For me, this is kind of I'm off of it.
Yeah, man says I lean Sin, but I'm not betting it.
Yeah. 1920 Saints Falcons.
Yeah, another game that's not really exciting to me at all. I think we had a good conversation about this the other day. I don't like the coaching of the Saints. We think the Falcons coaching is probably a little better. Saints are away from home. Derek Carr's a little banged up. He might play. Jameis Winston, I think, drops the quality if he's on. Gives Falcons a chance. I think the Saints will win this game. I really do. I just think they're a better team. I just don't like the game. It's going to be like watching paint dry.
Yeah, I didn't know Carr was still hurt. There's a chance he might not play?
I don't know if there's a chance. I know that he's not 100% healthy.
Okay. Well, that would make a big difference because I was going back and forth on this one. It usually isn't a good thing, but I think this morning I settled on the Saints. Not sure why. They're the worst team in the NFL, ATS.
He's in concussion protocol.
Still? From 2 weeks ago?
He was back at practice Wednesday. He's progressing through concussion protocol, but he does stand a good chance of suiting up. So it likely means he'll play.
I think he's going to play. Are you kidding me? They played 2 weeks ago. They had a bye last week. He's still in concussion protocol?
I think they're just probably playing games here.
Probably playing games, yeah. Yeah, I eventually landed on the Saints for this one, and I forget the stats that I looked at. I should go through my process on air one of these times so I can remember everything that I looked at.
You really should. I agree.
Yeah, like the Falcons coaching better, like the quarterback, if it's Carr, I like the quarterback better for New Orleans than Atlanta.
I do.
And I think there was some home road split type of thing, or the only 2 games the Saints have covered this year have both been on the road.
Yeah, but Atlanta are better at home than they are on the road. I mean, it's
but I think not by much. You know what? Why don't I just fire it up here? Let's see. Let's see if I can find what I was looking for. I don't want to spend too much time on this game.
I'm not betting it in Westgate.
No, I don't think we're going to take it in Westgate. It is because I'm doing my diversified strategy. It is a contender for one of the other pools. Let me just see if I can find what I was looking at. I ended up landing on New Orleans. So let's see. New Orleans on the road. Oh, okay. So they're 2-3-1 ATS on the road. They're only 2 covers of the season. They're plus 5 point differential on the road, which is good. That would cover the spread. They've scored over the true score, which is 22 points per game, twice. They've held opponents under the true score on the road 4 times. So that's Carolina, Green Bay, New England, and Houston. Not great offensive teams, but I don't think Atlanta's a great offensive team. Problem, the last 2 road games, both of the teams have gone over 22. Indianapolis scored 27. Minnesota scored 27. So that kind of evens out there. The book, there's been no movement on this game the entire season. The summer line was pick 'em. The opening line was pick 'em. This game, if it's New Orleans -1, yeah, their ATS numbers are just not good. Atlanta, there's not. Atlanta's not much better ATS. Atlanta's ATS is 2-8. At home, they're 1-4 against the spread. I would lean out. That just makes me lean Saints.
Yeah.
And there's other stats that I looked at, but I ended up leaning Saints.
Yeah, I agree with you, Saints. Okay. All right.
That was a lot on that one. Arizona and the Rams, 21-22.
It's another similar game for me, one that I don't have any interest in. I don't see a ton of value. It's I think I even saw this as a pick somewhere else.
Yeah, I've seen it on both sides of the line.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I think Arizona playing a little bit better. Kyler Murray's come back pretty fresh. I didn't think he was going to. I didn't want him to, and went against a couple of my picks the other week. But, I think they could hold out pretty well here. I think the Rams are just poor right now. I think they're not showing really anything on either side of the ball, and I think this could be a sneaky spot for Arizona to get quite a nice win at home this weekend.
Yeah, I'm on Arizona the same way. I feel like right now they might be a little bit better than the Rams.
They could be, yeah.
I'm probably biased towards the fact that I picked Arizona 2 weeks in a row, and they covered both the lines that I had because I got +6 last week instead of the 4.5 or 5. And I watched a good chunk of the Rams Seahawks game, and the Rams looked absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
So my intuition is definitely leaning Arizona. Right now this morning I took Arizona +1.5 on pregame. So the fact that they're favored here, I wouldn't mind taking them -1. I don't think it's not strong enough with the other games on the slate to pick it for us. But I think Arizona wins. I don't think the Rams aren't showing me anything. I think it's going to be fairly close. It could be 20, 24, 21, 23, 21, 27, 24, 21, 18, something weird like that.
There's just
I see Arizona just playing better.
A lot of unattractive games for me.
That's all right. How about 23-24, Broncos, Browns?
Oh, this is a head and heart battle, this one. I mean, Browns, I think, offensively are struggling. We know that. They've got an okay running game. Denver Broncos, their defense is getting better. Their coaching and their team is just getting better aligned. I want to see Denver keeping their role going and doing some work here. I think the Browns are a great defense. Can they shut down Russell Wilson? Probably. Will Russell and Sean be ready with some different plays? I think for Cleveland, of course they will. I think at -1.5 points, I think Denver are going to take this game.
Really? Ooh. Okay. Well, let me give you some data. I've got my spreadsheet open, so for one of them. So Cleveland's great defense.
Yeah.
On the road, Cleveland is giving up 29.8 points per game, which is double what they do at home. And it was Pittsburgh got 26. Not a great offense.
No.
Indianapolis got 38.
Wow.
Seattle got 24. Baltimore got 31. Now, I don't know if Denver might be on par with Indianapolis, maybe? So the fact that leads me to believe that Denver might score a few more points than I would expect with this idea that Cleveland's got a great defense. Well, they've been really, really good at home and awful on the road. Here's some conflicting stuff. This game, summer line was Cleveland +2. It's gone to Cleveland. It opened Cleveland -3. This thing's gone way back and forth. So when the book buys Cleveland, when the book makes a summer adjustment in favor of the Browns, they're 3-0 ATS. Okay. When the public fades Cleveland, now we don't think this is not a good spot for Cleveland. We think the points are too much in their favor. We're going to fade. We're going to go with the other team. They are 5-0-1 against the spread, which means the public has just been flat out wrong on the Browns. For Denver, the book is buying them. No, the book is fading them. They've won their last 3 ATS. The public is on them. They're 3-1, but they've won their last 3 against the spread. So this is like a seasoned body of work where the public has been wrong on the Browns, and then recent history where the public's been right on the Broncos when they back them. So I had this game written down. I could go Cleveland or Denver, and I just eliminated it off my board.
Yeah, I'm not betting it, but Denver's trending up. I think it's a good spot for Denver. I think they get the win. I'm not betting it, but I like it.
I hope they do because we both have Denver over futures, right?
Yeah.
So I will be pulling for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Eagles, Bills, 25-26. And this was 3.5 when we talked. We liked one team. It's now 3. Do we still like the same team?
Yeah, I mean, you can get 3.5 in some other places still. There is a little bit of interest in the Bills, no doubt. We know that Eagles can be a little susceptible. We've seen how they play against Washington, for example. If Bills hold on to the ball, and this is going to be a really fun game to watch. I think it's a high-scoring game, but my money's on the Eagles. After the way they played the other day against a team that wasn't really offensively strong, but Eagles ended up scrapping out a little lucky win. I think I still like the Eagles. I've started to think a little bit more over the last couple of days since we chatted that Buffalo might be slightly stronger in the game than I first thought, but I still don't change from Philadelphia being a top 5 bet for me.
Why? What has made you think they might be a little bit better than your instinct?
I just think that last week was a game they needed. I think they've, before the season, I was high on the Bills. I thought they were well set up. I thought the coaching was good. I thought the team was good. I expected Josh Allen to progress a little bit. And I thought that they would be, a strong divisional winner since my divisional bet.
Mm-hmm.
But they've played some crappy games. And Josh Allen has not been the Josh Allen I hoped he was going to be. Their team was quite banged up. The defense, I think a few of them are back playing this weekend, which will help them against the Eagles. I just think that I can see why the move has shifted a little bit in their favor with the pros. I just can't
probably the hook. It's probably just a half point.
I just can't see the Eagles losing the game, so I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah, I think Buffalo is 1-3 on the road, 1-3 ATS on the road. And I was looking at this morning. They haven't played anybody good.
Not really.
Jets, Raiders, Commanders, Dolphins. Okay, they beat the Dolphins. Jags, pretty good. Giants, Patriots, Bucks, Bengals, pretty good. Denver and the Jets. Like, they haven't played a Baltimore. They haven't played a San Francisco. They haven't played a Philadelphia. So the next games, they get Philadelphia, Kansas City, and Dallas, 3 straight.
Yeah.
I think they're in for a rude awakening. I think last week, little bump, right? The addition by subtraction. Let's get rid of the offensive coordinator, bring in a different guy. We get the initial bump. They just haven't seen anything like Philadelphia.
No, I agree. I think it's a take him and move on game.
Yeah. And let's see, what's the public move here? When the public buys, so this line opened 4, it's down to 3.5. The contest is 3. When the public buys Buffalo, they're 1-4 against the spread, and their one win came last week against the Jets.
Yeah,
which was your game of the week.
Yep.
So I like Philly. I like them more at 3 than I did at 3.5. So
my gosh, yes.
This sounds like one that we might be.
For Westgate, I like it a lot.
We might be in on. All right, cool. Next one, Chiefs Raiders 27-28.
Ooh. The more and more I've thought about this, the stronger and stronger I've moved to the Raiders in this game.
Wow. That must be difficult for you.
Yeah. And again, it's purely points, it's purely situation. I mean, I think Kansas, I do not doubt that Kansas City, I don't think Raiders will win the game. I don't even think they have a sniff of winning. I think the Chiefs will win the game, but they will just win, baby. That's all they will do. They'll make sure they'll save a play or two for the second half to try to prove they can score in the second half. And they'll sneak a win. They'll win by 4. They'll win by 5. They'll win by 3. But I think Raiders
7.
cover. Whatever. Raiders cover.
Raiders cover. All right. I don't want any part of this one because I would tend to agree with you. Kansas City is now gravitating back towards their typical 50-50 or worse ATS. They're 6-4 overall. They've lost 2 of the last 3. Yeah, I didn't look at this game much. It just seems like the Raiders are playing a little bit better. So is Coach Pierce a real thing? I can tell you, looking at my sheet right now, Raiders at home, ATS 4-1. 4-1 straight up. 4-1 against the spread. Held 4 of the 5 opponents under 22 points a game. So their last 4 road games or home games, Packers scored 13, Patriots scored 17, Giants scored 6, Jets scored 12. All of those teams are awful offensively. So Kansas City likely going to score more points. This is a numbers game. Can they keep it around 10 or less.
I'm purely playing the numbers games. 9.5 in the pool. It's just a numbers game. That's all it is. Chiefs are winning the game, no problem at all, but it's a numbers game.
Yep. And it's always uncomfortable to pick against the Chiefs. It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because you never know. But this year, well, I guess they're still over 500 ATS, but it's getting close. All right, 29-30, Ravens, Chargers.
Interesting game. This one, you know where I strongly lean. I love the Ravens. I've liked them since the start of the season. They're playing great. The challenge.
One of your teams.
It's one of my teams. The challenge with this game is this is the kind of spot where the Ravens can blow it against a mediocre team. They can get a good lead. It'll be up by 17, and they'll end up struggling to keep the win.
It'll go overtime.
I don't think it's going to happen. The Chargers is one of those teams that, you know, it's for me, obviously we want them to lose. We've got money on them continuing to lose, but they could be sneaky here. This is a position where they could be sneaky at home. But I still like the Ravens at -3.5. It's a strong bet for me. It's a top 5 pick. I'm just playing with the better team all around.
Yeah, they're sneaky because they show flashes of being really good. Like in their offense, they can score.
Yeah.
So it's like you like that. Their defense is not very good. Their coach is not very good.
Yeah.
And then you add in this layer of Baltimore just is still living in like 1955, where they leave the back, not just unlocked, they constantly leave the back door wide open. Come on in. So those two combined make me a little bit nervous. However, I like the Ravens. I think their offense is good enough to keep up with and be better than the Chargers. And their defense is certainly good enough to stop them a few times. You play it out over the series of a game. They really only need to exchange a touchdown for a field goal once and they cover. I think they can do that.
Oh, yeah.
I like Baltimore, but I will be sweating it out until I see zeros across the entire fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I totally agree. It could be they're up by 17 with 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
And Tucker hits a field goal as time expires to win. And that's just what they do. So
it's cool. What they do. Yes.
31-32, Vikes, Bears.
Oh, yes. This is the battle of the futures right here.
It's a sword. Well, not a sword fight, but it's a double dipper. It's a 2Xer.
It's a 2Xer.
We're both on Minnesota, just for the audience. We're both on the Minnesota over and the Chicago under win total.
And we've got a couple of other little bets on Minnesota. So everything helps in Minnesota's favor with a win here against the Bears. No doubt.
So we have to work really hard to not be biased and let that influence our analysis of this game.
Yeah, I've tried to look at this game from a couple of different angles, and I don't run all the stats to the level that you do. I kind of go with form and what I'm much more of a gut picker. I like what's trending at Minnesota. Here's the thing for me. Some people are picking up their opinion and perspective on the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears still suck. I don't think Justin Fields is awful, but he's not good. You put Brian Flores' Vikings defense against Fields, I think they're going to struggle to score. And I think the Vikings will get enough points in this to cover. It's a strong bet for me on the Vikings. I think it's a good win.
I agree. I think the Bears played almost a perfect game last week against Detroit. Fields was he came back, controlled the game, ran the ball. Okay, so that cat's out of the bag a little bit. So Flores saw that for 1 week. Yeah. He's smart enough. I think their players are good enough to come up with a plan to slow down his running attack, make him throw.
Yeah.
Anytime you make him throw, the Bears haven't really been very good. I think the Vikings play very consistent, very methodical. If they don't have a couple turnovers against Denver, they probably win that game last week. So I think Minnesota's the better team. I think Chicago they might have peaked last week and still lost. I don't expect them to play as well again on the road. Monday Night Football against Minnesota, against a team that's not as explosive as Detroit, but they're probably more well-rounded. Their
defense
still
is
pretty
better,
good,
in my opinion.
Huh?
Their defense is better, in my opinion.
Sure. They're still pretty good offensively, and their defense is better than Detroit's.
Yeah.
So I think the margin might actually even be bigger than the Bears game last week.
It could be. They're going to blitz the heck out of Fields. He doesn't like it. He's going to struggle.
Well, his thing, like, if he can control the game with his legs and make some big plays, then they've got a shot, which they had last week.
Yep.
If they stop that, there's nothing.
No.
Like, then they can't do anything. So, and then their big act was, oh, we got Chase Claypool, we got Curtis Samuel, we got or DJ Moore, whoever. It doesn't matter. And I don't think they have the coaching staff to really maximize the talent that they have on the team. Plus, they got rid of Claypool. Who knows what they're doing? Are they looking towards the draft already? I think they have 2 of the top 5 picks projected right now, something like that, with the trades that they've made.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Minnesota still has an outside shot at the division because they don't play the Lions until week 16. They play week 16 and week 18. They just got to keep pace. They just got to sniff in the heels. And the first one of those games is at home. If they beat them at home in week 16, that week 18 game is going to matter. And we'll see what happens. I like Minnesota.
Me too.
I think our 5 are clear, are they?
I think they're clear. Jags -1.5, Tennessee -3.5, Philly -3, Baltimore 3.5, and Minnesota 3.5.
Those are the 5 I got.
5 picks, 5 favorites. We don't often do that.
No. And we talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
But I don't, I'm looking down the right-hand column. I don't like you said, if we were going to go tomorrow games, you like the Seahawks, we like the Jets, kind of like Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Maybe can talk yourself into Cincinnati, Atlanta, the Rams, the Browns, but there's none that are like, oh yeah, I really like this.
You just reminded me some interesting thing about Cincinnati when Joe Burrow went down last week and what's his name, Browning comes out. I think his first 5 passes were all to Jamar Chase. I think
they should be.
Yeah, but I think those guys have been playing a lot on the practice field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think Cincinnati still needs to play. Like, they still need to play.
Yeah.
I don't think they've given up on the season. And I still think that as a dog, I still think it's a good. More and more I think about this game, the stronger and stronger I lean towards Bengals.
So this is what I started doing a few weeks ago. When you look at this, is Cincinnati a team that you want to pick this week? Not. I'm super confident they're going to win. Do you want to be on that side of this game?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So then I would recommend. You're doing pretty well in the RYP, so I'm not saying you got to bump one of your other teams off. But if you ever get in a position where you're doing multiple pools, 3 or 4 entries, then you might want to go that route.
Yeah.
I don't have them on my board anywhere, but I wouldn't hate it.
No, my challenge is with the 2 big spread games that I like the dogs on, which is the Jets and the Raiders. And at 7.5, I do like Seattle. I can't get them at 7.5 anywhere else,
right?
Except in Westgate. But we're not taking it. But it's a fun one.
No, we can't take it anymore because we had to have that pick in last night.
Yeah, correct. So, all right, so
I think we still got a good 5.
Locked and loaded. Let's be sure about those, and we'll move on in just a minute. It's interesting doing this at 7 o'clock in the morning. My energy level is about 35%. You've been up for
35,
4 hours.
Huh?
I said you've probably been up for 4 hours.
About 3.
God, I love my sleep. I don't get enough of it, but I can't get up in the morning.
So hold on. Let me ask you this. You usually when I'm still recording, by the way. Usually when we're on here, you're knackered at night.
Yeah.
So I was expecting you to say, gosh, my energy level is so much better right now.
I'm just like,
is it better or worse?
I don't have the normal, even though I'm tired on a Thursday at 9 o'clock, I'm more excited for it and ready for it. And I've got a pint in my hand and than I am at 7 o'clock in the morning when I've just got up and sipping my coffee and a protein bar. It's like, it's a good time of the day and I feel physically energized. I'm not, my acuity's not there. My wit and repartee are missing at this time of the day.
Well, it's a good thing we did a little few hours in advance for this one.
That was good. Actually, I was good. It's a shame we don't do that all the time, but that was fun.
Maybe in the future we were talking about some ideas.
That's right. We're looking at some ideas. What's this space, viewer?
What's that?
I said, what's this space, viewer?
I don't get it.
we were talking about some ideas for what's coming forward for us. I said, watch this space, viewer.
Watch this space. Okay.
Yeah. So exciting news coming for the one person that's watching us right now.
Yeah. Could be potentially. We're just kicking around some ideas. There's some easy ideas we could do. And then there's some bigger. Then there's some bigger ideas.
First one, we got to get our guest spot going. So the guest spot.
I think that's gonna happen. Yeah, that's gonna happen this season for sure.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna stop the recording. Thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
And we'll do our bit on the community thing right now. Yeah.
Let's do it.